Hello, everyone. Good morning. Okay, good morning for me. Good afternoon for you all. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Dr. Nakkeeran, we are able to hear you very well. Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, my name is Nakkeeran. Full name is Nakkeeran Kaliyaperumal. People call me Nux. I'm basically from Pondicherry, Kadalur, Tamil Nadu, India. And you might have seen my the list where I got educated, basically from CIT and then Anna University. And now I'm working at University of Aberdeen in the UK. It's in Scotland. It's quite up north, north of Edinburgh. Edinburgh is the capital of Scotland. So it's nice meeting you all, guys. So, forcefully you guys have to listen to me because you're all muted. So let go with the starting basic rule. If anybody wants to ask any question or anything, you can stop me anytime. You type the question in the chat room so that I can answer them one by one. Okay, this particular session is the introduction session for the business mathematics. So basically, you can say that it is the current advanced statistical mathematics which is used in the industry, business, everything. So as it is a mentorship coming from the Select Smart, the idea of the mentorship is not like regular lecturing or teaching, that everything is given by the lecturer and then the students have to understand everything through the lecturer. It is in mentorship which the mentor will help the mentees to get the effective material. And I can provide the material as well. And about the topic, you guys can try to learn. And if you have any difficulties or anything, you can contact me and I can help you with that. And the idea of this series of lectures is today I will give you the introduction to the topics that we would like to cover. And we will see how effectively we can pass on the materials to you so that you can go through the material and try to do some workout example. And overall, you should get the idea of how to use a tool, a mathematical tool in reality. Okay, so we all learn mathematics in a way that we are told that, okay, this is how you add numbers, this is how you multiply numbers. But never the thought process of why adding numbers is giving something which is meaningful for the reality in application. So we have to understand the basic math itself in the right way so that our process of thinking itself will be straight away coming from the way we understand and do the mathematics. So having said so, even for the fundamental one, the business mathematics is also same. So on its own, you may need the basic mathematics like the numerical arithmetic, some basic algebra, and some, of course, the indices, and a bit of differential and integral calculus when it comes to find the area of some shape, some mathematical function, something like that. So even in those kind of things, if you have any doubts or anything, you can always ask me and I can help you with that. So my plan for this is I will today, after giving the introduction to the topics, you guys can look into that every topic under that, what is being covered and what you guys are learning out of it. So the prerequisite, you need to understand the topic, each and every topic, and then the outcome, the learning outcomes of each topic. Okay, so we need to have a aim and objective of doing anything. It's not only about learning subject or mathematics or anything. For everything, we need to have why we are doing that. And then while doing, have you done the objectives and gone to the end goal? That you need to always ask about that. So in every topic of this session also, in the beginning of the week, today is a Saturday, we are meeting on a Saturday. So end of this session, let's say I give you a material about the very first topic. Then next week, you have full 1 week time to look into the material and then the associated things. And then you can use regular textbook also. And also, I mean, nowadays, most of you guys are using the internet to search for something. I mean, nothing harm in looking for something from the internet, but make sure that the site and the content you are getting the knowledge from is genuine and it is correct. Okay, because think about that, it is a vast ocean of so much information in the internet. So if you go and Google search something, I mean, if somebody pays money, then they get the first result as the Google search result. Okay, don't think that the Google is like a god that can give you everything when you put the term inside the search field. So the results given by the Google is also polarized. Okay, and it is mostly because of the paid site will give you the first result, and then mostly people what they uh, searched for and looked into, that will come as the first list. So most of the time what people will look for is easy way of doing things. So if everything is easy, then think about why there are so many humans, and the smartness is different with everybody, and in the way doing things also getting differently. So if you always look for easy way of doing things, then that is more competitive because there are plenty of people doing that. Then you are going to fight with so many people for everything in the profession, in personal life, and everything. So easy way of doing things and always trying to get a easy solution, quick solution, it is like a fast food. Okay, is better avoid that. Okay, try to give a full understanding of what is on the topic and what you learn about that, and how that is going to be solving the problem more globally. Okay, globally in the sense that if at all that problem is going to solve the particular the solution is going to solve the particular situation. If at all new problem arise, then the way you solved the problem should have been in such a way that the new problem arising from that particular system or somewhere in the industry or in the reality in the business or in the sales or anything, you need to have a good idea. So that is how you have to look for the tools in solving any problem. It is not like hanky panky that okay, this bolt is loose, so I take a spanner, I tight the bolt, is end of it, it is all working. Okay, you have to understand everything fully, so that in future the amount of work you do for solving a problem on a particular system or a particular business or something will be much easier. Okay, in the sense the way you handle and the amount of time you will be taking in solving the problem will be much shorter and much effective, and you will be seen as a better person in solving those kind of problems in the group of 7 billion people in the world. Okay, so that's the idea. So all of you guys are okay with that? Can you guys say at least a hi in the chat window so that I can see that you guys are listening to me and all going okay? Because I could see 94 participants. Yeah, okay, I get the first hi, hello. Okay, good, 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 good. That's fine. Okay, good afternoon. Okay. It's, good afternoon to you all. Yeah, good, good, good. Fine. Okay. So that's good. Okay, you guys are listening and you guys can type in the chat room. Fantastic. Okay, I like that. Okay, so far you guys have any question or anything? Okay, there is raised hands. So I could see. Okay. Okay, can you guys post the question on the chat room, because two guys have raised hands. If you have any question, you can post and I can see that before I share my screen for the. Okay, you guys raise the hand just to say that you are here. It looks like that. Okay, okay, that's fine. Okay, so the name itself, business mathematics, may sound like oh, it is a big business or something like that. So the name is being used, I mean, globally and in the industry in a way that because this mathematics, the content of the mathematics and the tools available in this under this topic is used mostly in the business for the industrial business, marketing, sales, and what is going on with the quality control and reliability and all those things. So the name, the business with this mathematics topic is coined from there. Okay, so let me try to share my screen. Oops, okay. Okay, I use a Mac system, so it will ask for all the permission. Okay, I have a Zoom app will not be able to record the contents of the screen until it is quit. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let me share that. Okay, now I could see that. Okay, the PDF file. Okay. This is the PDF file. Hope you guys can see that. So now this is the screen. Now I could not. Okay, there is the chat. I could see the. Okay. Okay, let me move somebody here. Okay. Okay, so Yuvraj has replied that yes, you guys can see the screen. That's good. Okay. Okay, let me, because this particular thing you guys can see everything here. So what I would do, I would go to this one. Okay, good. Okay, so here, this is a PDF file I generated using a open source desktop uh, app called LaTeX. Okay, it started with tech, even though it sound as a end with a K, it end with a X, TEX. It is a very powerful app, open source, and is Unix based, now available with all the operating system. And it is a very good, powerful word processing. Okay, maybe I can have a different session on this topic, how to use the tech, LaTeX, under the programming and everything. Okay, so this material is going to have the content. I mean, don't worry about the tech or anything. I will share this whole material once this session is done, and everybody who is interested and registering for the session to learn about this will get this material. Okay, so on the left hand side you can see the bookmarks. So there are topics available. So you could see that the first very topic is the basics of this business mathematics, which is starting with sets and probability, and it will go to the descriptive statistics, and then discrete probability distributions, then so on. It goes until the end of like reliability and the quality control. So these are all the things we are going on. So the table of contents is listed like that. In the document, whenever the content is having a blue color text like that, it is linked, hyperlinked to a different part of the document. So if you see the cursor, hope you guys can see my cursor as well. So the cursor will change to a linkable cursor. So I can click here so that it will take you to the place where that particular part of the document is. Here you can see under that particular topic, that is, I have come from sets and probability from the table of contents to here. Here it says the contents will have basically what are sets, and then the elementary probability, addition and multiplication, loss of probability, total probability, and Bayes theorem. So like that, in each of these topic, we will tell that what is the prerequisite, what you need to know a priori before learning this particular topic. And then once you learn about this particular topic, then what is the learning outcome? So from this chapter, the whole chapter, which consists of 4 sections in there, we are going to learn something what is written here. So you guys can read that, I mean, peacefully once I give the document to you. Then when you click this, again, this is in blue color text, you can click this, it will take you to the section where it gives the introduction for that particular section. And in the same page, as I said, it will tell you what are the prerequisites you need to learn this. Before starting these sections, before you want to learn about the sets, you need to know what is basic algebra. So what are all the things under the algebra? Then if you know the basic algebra, then you are ready to learn about the sets. That's the meaning of this prerequisite. Then under the learning outcome, you are going to learn that state what is meant by the set and the set notation, and explain the concepts of the intersection and union. That is what we call that as the addition and the subtraction of the set and the Venn diagram and all those things. When I provide the material, you guys will come to learn about that. And also the complement of the set. And I mean, as I said, it is going to be the Venn diagram illustration and everything. So it may pick up the thing already you learned from your school or from the engineering mathematics. Some of the concepts you might have learned already. But the idea of this particular material is to bring back all the knowledge you already have and understand in such a way that you get the basic idea and the full understanding. And it is not only for the purpose of writing a test or an examination and you can forget about that. This is an idea for your lifetime. You are learning about what is a set and what are all the basic algebra attached with that under this section. Then whenever you think about something when in your real life, when you're going on a street or waiting in a busy street signal, then you can start counting that how many cars are passing, and out of that, how many of them are BMW or how many of them are Maruti Suzuki or something like that. So then is there any commonality between them, or they are totally mutually exclusive? Those kind of things are the real thing what you learn from the material I provide under this section. So like that, in next comes the elementary probability. So it goes like that. So I'm not going to go through each and every topic here to tell you what is there, but I'm just saying how to use this document when I give it to you. So this is the one. Okay, let's say you go to the normal distribution. Then the normal distribution has 3 sections. One is the normal distribution itself, and the normal distribution approximation to the binomial distribution, and the sums and difference of the random variables. So if you click the random distribution, under that we have an introduction for that, I mean, as usual. Then also it says what you need to know already to understand what is a normal distribution. So you need to be familiar with the basic properties of probabilities. So these materials is coming from the previous sections you learned from this series of lectures. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, and also have a familiar idea about the continuous random variables. Then when you learn this section, these are all the 3 learning outcomes. You come up with that, then you can make use of learning the other topics in the business mathematics. And also when you go to the industry or in the business, in sales or marketing, you can use these kind of things. Okay, so I will just give a break here to see whether somebody having any questions. Please type it in the chat room so that I will know that if you guys have any question, I can answer that before going further. Okay, it looks like everybody has understood what I said. Okay, hopefully. Okay, this I learned from my line manager in when I was working in Hong Kong. Even now, every summer I used to go there. Because of coronavirus, I cannot go for the summer, unfortunately. But he always says that if you are lecturing to a big audience, and if you ask a question, and if there is no question coming back, everybody is silent, that means either they understood nothing or they understood everything. So so there is nothing called in between the full understanding and so nothing at all. So anyhow, so hopefully everything is okay. So can I ask a question to you guys? Um, have you guys learned already about all this topic? Like somewhere at the school, can somebody give me a reply there in the chat room? There is sets and probability. Most likely you guys have, yes, yes. Okay. So you guys have studied the sets and probability. So can anybody type the topic? Can you guys see all the topics here? If it is legible, can you type the topic, okay, sets and probability and descriptive statistics? You guys know what is the descriptive statistics means? Okay, let's go there and then see what is the contents there. Okay, no, there is a answer no for the descriptive mathematics, I mean statistics. Okay, descriptive, the word descriptive comes from description. Okay, okay, standard deviation, yes, of course, that is part of the thing we will be learning from this. Yes, of course, good. So the descriptive statistics means the description of how to, because there are different kind of data available. Okay, so that how we are going to describe the data. So the first content, the first section of the descriptive statistics, be describing data and exploring data. So let's say somebody wants to present the data. So all of you guys might have seen bar diagram or a pie chart. Okay, so Zoom is not a safe platform. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So anyhow, we are using this platform. Let's go with that. The description of the data, like as I said, it could be basically a bar chart, or it could be a pie chart, or there are different kind of things, and each one of them has its own pros and cons. So the material under this section will explain you what are all the things historically available from the beginning and what is currently being used, and each under every description of the data, what are all the pros and cons. So we need to understand each one of them. So depending on the application, what is required, we may need to choose one out of the different description of the data. Or even if you want to explore what is the data is giving a meaningful understanding out of that, then we can explore the data as well. So all of you guys know what is a bar chart. Have you guys seen a bar chart? You guys have to type at least yes or no. Okay, yes. Somebody said no also. Okay, bar chart. Have you guys heard the word called histogram? Yes, histogram also, some of you guys have know what is histogram. So what is the difference between a bar chart and a histogram? Anybody knows about that? Because if you know a histogram, if you know a bar chart, both looks the same. Then the question is why there are two names, why when something is called a histogram and why is a bar chart. So of course I got from Fatima, the answer is no. So she definitely doesn't know. Yeah, somebody says yes. Okay, so what is the difference between a histogram and a bar chart? This is from iPhone. Somebody username is iPhone. Can you quickly type an answer? What is the difference between, or tell me what is a bar chart and what is a histogram? Because they have two different definitions, right? Okay, I don't know whether the answer is being typed or not. That's okay. So the question is, if something looks similar, the bar chart and the histogram, they both look similar. And as soon as you see them, you don't find a difference between them. until you know what kind of data being described there, we cannot say whether it is an histogram or a bar chart. Histogram is drawn in such a way that there is no gap between the bars. You mean the spacing. What do you mean by the gap? You mean the gap, the spacing, vertical, the position of the bars. If they are placed apart, then it is a bar chart, and if they are placed together, yeah, this is the right answer. Pooja gives the right answer. The graph is discrete variable and histogram is continuous variable. Yeah. Okay, very good, Pooja. Where you learn from? Pooja, can you tell me where you learned this, the difference between the bar chart and the histogram? Okay, she might be typing that. Okay, let's go on. Okay, then it goes back to the question, what are all the type of, I knew from high school. Okay, fantastic. Okay. Okay, that's very good. That means in the school level itself in India, you guys have learned some basics of the business mathematics. That is very good. So now we are going to bring back all the knowledge you learned from the school and put it together in such a way that what are all the things you need to remember and how to use those tools for the in the industry and in the business. Okay, that's the idea. So it goes back to the question that what are all the kind of data available to that. The data itself can be continuous or discrete. So the words, all the technical words, everything may sound very difficult or very difficult to understand or even to remember. So better always keep your understanding with examples. Okay. So a discrete data is something like a number that can be counted as a whole number. So for example, cars, we will be counting there is one car, then when there is another car, we call that as a two cars, three cars, four cars, like that. There is no fractional value, or the value from one quantity to the next quantity is not continuous, that it is jumping from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3. There is nothing in between the 1 and 2. So that is why it is discrete. That means they are isolated and they are standalone data, and there is no continuous in between them. But if you take another example as a continuous data, for example, the weight of the human beings, our weights are continuous. Okay, so the weight of one person can be 70 kg, the other person can be 70.1 or even 70.01 or 70.001, like that. So the value from one to the next quantity, if there is a possibility of continuous values, all the values can be taken by a different data, then that kind of data is a continuous data. But the other data are discrete data. For example, even money. Money may look like a continuous data, but it is not so, because the currency which is available, we have a fixed unit. Okay, with respect to the country, there is only certain amount of currency notes, which is all fixed value. So if you have a 10 rupee note and a 20 rupee notes, then that means there is nothing in between 10 and 20, because the currency itself, you don't have a 11 rupee note or a 12 rupee or 10.1 or 10.2 or like that. So even if you go to the fractional value with your coins and everything, there is a limit for that. Below that, you cannot have the value going in depth with that. Okay, so that means at one point it will become discrete. So these are all the understanding we will be gathering from the beginning, one by one, step by step, we go about that. Is it okay? So any questions or anything so far? Okay, there is a no, sir. That means there is no questions. Okay, so anybody can type me in the chat room what interests you to learn about this topic, the whole business mathematics. So from that thing, I can try to explain something further on that. Can anybody type why? Okay, I mean, the global answer is you guys have the option to come here and listen to this talk. That is okay. Data science. Okay. Data science, you mean in general, how the currently the, because the Rolls-Royce company is also called data science in the UK. So you're talking about data science in general, right? How the analytics and all the data science, data analysis. Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Okay. So you guys are interested in the basic hardcore data analytics. Okay, that's fine. So the idea is, I'm 47 years old now. I learned statistics during my school time, and then during my engineering and during my research and everything. Slowly, I do a lot of random variables and analysis for my research and everything, because my own research interest is I'm an expert in the optical fiber communication and also the optical fiber sensors and optical fiber lasers. So anything to do with optics, nonlinear optics, fiber, and bulk optics, lasers, I'm an expert in that. Okay, so for that I use a lot of statistical analysis and everything. So as I could see that from the time I started my research, I could go back like 25 years before to to now, the statistic itself has evolved quite big, because the amount of data and how to represent them, how to explore them, how to get some meaningful result out of that and everything got changed a lot. Now we have a better way of and better tools, everything that we can apply and understand the data even before 30 years ago. Okay, so that's a very drastic change. So most of the topic, except the sets and the probability, what I learned during my school and during my undergraduate Bachelor of Engineering is all gone. Okay, now everything gone to different topic and different new things. So most of the things are developed in the recent 20 to 25 years, I could say maximum 30 years, not more than that. So it is quite a new topic, and it can evolve also. For example, nowadays the big data comes into picture. Okay, so when it grows bigger and also mixed with so many irrelevant data put together under some common thing or those kind of things, they are described as big data. That is going to be another topic beyond the business mathematics. So one by one, when the things grows bigger and getting more complicated, then we need to know more tools and understanding about that, and more representation, different way of representing. And as soon as we see something either graphically or pictorially or something like that, immediately we need to understand this is what is all about that particular data. This is where the outlier is. Somebody in a class that average students, most of the students will be average students. So if you take a student numbers of 100, then most of them are average students. So the very smart students will be very less, which will be the outliers in one extreme, and very, very, very dumb student will be outliers, which will be on the other side. So this kind of data can be represented in few different ways. Then as soon as you see the picture or the data in the way it is represented, we immediately know that this is an average student class where most of the students are average students. And there are very small numbers of smart students and a very less number of dumb students. Or in some extreme cases, there can, yes, that is a Gaussian distribution. And there may be outliers, which may be spikes, which may be sitting in the extreme also. That's possible. So Gaussian distribution is not it's a global distribution that can represent or describe all the data. So depending on the type of the data, we may need to use different kind of representation. Okay. So boxes and whiskers. Anybody knows about that? Boxes and whiskers. No. Okay. There is an answer. No. No, no, no. Okay. So that is one kind of representation that will be coming under the describing data topic. That is one of the important thing that can easily explain straight away the kind of thing. Even there are outliers, then the boxes and the whiskers can tell that. And how about stem and leaves? Anybody heard about that? The way of representing the data. Stem and leaves. It is like a plant. You will have a main stem, and then from there the leaves will branch out. Okay, it seems that there is no no answer, no yes answer. That means most likely you guys have not seen that. So those are all the kind of representation globally used nowadays. So the material I provide will have explanation about each of those and how to understand that, and under what situation we may be using those kind of representation. Okay, so there is nothing called, there is a universal global tool that I can go and look into all the problems or solve all problems. It is something like, I used to explain this way. Only if you know what is the problem, then we can come to an understanding that this is the tool that can go and fix the problem, okay, or analyze the problem. So for example, you have a toolbox. The toolbox have lot of tools. It may have a screwdriver, or it can have a spanner. It has a drill bit. There are lot of things available in the tool. So if you have a situation, let's say I want to nail a nail on a wall, then can I go open the toolbox and take a screwdriver and do that? No. So if you know what is the situation is you have to hammer the nail. So you need to go and look for a hammer. Okay. So that's the kind of thing. So we may know lot of tools, and we cannot go and take any random tool and go and start working on a problem. So first we need to understand the problem very clearly, and whether we know already all the necessary data and the information about the problem to come to an understanding this is the problem. If not, we need to ask the question whether we need to look for more information about the problem to even to look for the tools or to solve the problem. So those kind of questions has to arise as an engineer. Okay, that's very important. Somebody posed a question. Data is generally broken into stem and leaves. I know that leaf of numbers will always be uh, okay, I mean, I'm not going to explain too much about that. Okay, something like the stem and leaf is connected to how to represent the data. Once you guys look into the material I provide, you may get a better idea. Sir, is Python 3 a universal programming language at present? Yeah, programming language. Okay, you are going out of the topic. Even though I mean I'm interested to give a separate session, totally series of lectures about programming and everything. Is depending on the again. Python is a programming language. It's just a tool. Okay, so the way how you can communicate with the computer. So there is nothing called something is universal or global or very powerful or something like that. Depending on the situation, under the requirement, and what is finally you are aiming at, all depends on that. For example, if I want to add two numbers, do you go for a computer and look for a Python 3 programming to do that? Don't you just take a calculator and add the two number? Or if you know how to add the two numbers, you add by yourself. Okay. So it's all about the dependency, and you have to be globally knowing about what are all the things available when the situation arises, how that can be used. Okay. So don't think that you can forget totally about the C programming or whatever the basic programming language you learned, and you can jump straight away into Python or even the R code or whatever it is. Okay. So your the answer for your question is yes and no. Okay. So nobody knows. Tomorrow there could be some other programming language which can be built up in such a way that the the new system which is being developed can be handled in a better way with the new kind of programming language. Okay, that is how the revolutions are happening with the programming language. Okay, let's come back to the business mathematics, what we are talking about. So you guys have any question or anything so far about the business mathematics? Okay, as such, nobody is posing any question. So you guys are no hope, sir. Okay, so because I mean, as such, I'm not going to teach each and every topic what is there and everything. So the material I provide is prepared in such a way that it is self-explanatory. You guys read it from the page one, line one continuously, and every line makes some sense, make an understanding out of it. Don't try to jump to the point that, okay, I know how to solve the problem. I know how to solve the problem. Don't ever, as an engineer, you should not always look for the problems which has been already described and already been solved. Because in reality, when you go to the field, when you go to the industry, the problem which is going to arise for you is not a textbook problem. It's not a problem that is going to tell you that this is the problem that I came up in the question paper last year, the third question or something like that. So the real problem, the reality is totally different. Okay, what you are learning in the text and in the lectures and in the labs and everything, these are all the things that are already available and how you need to understand things. And when you go to reality as a real field engineer, when something comes, if you want to design something, you already have the basic knowledge all about how to design something under the particular engineering. So then with that, you have to ask the question what you are going to design newly. So the new fresh design you are going to come up with will be based on the basics you learn and the knowledge you already gained. And well, above that, what is the new requirement, what is the new spec that has been posed on you to do the new design. And it could be a individual engineer problem, or it could be a teamwork or something like that. Then based on that, either you are going to work individually or you are going to work with the team to split the problem and put it all together to give a right solution for that particular problem. Okay, so most of the time as engineers, we need to think about the optimization also. The optimization always comes with a cost factor. So what is the cost factor we need to always look into? Because there is nothing called there is a global solution for everything. Because if you want to solve a problem in an ideal case, you need infinite amount of time. You may need infinite amount of money for perfection. That is not available because we need to think about resources. Only under the available limited resources, what is the solution or the design we are providing. So those kind of things should come first. Okay, so if you are given with only amount of 100 rupees and you have to do something within that, you cannot give a solution for 1,000 rupees kind of solution. Okay, it's as simple as that. So what you can do with that 100 rupees, that is the limiting resource, which is putting as an optimization of that whole problem. Can you optimize your solution for this problem within a cost factor of 100 rupees? What is the solution you can give? That may be a very dumb solution, but that is the best solution you can give for that 100 rupees. So that's it. So don't think that there is something called always a dumb solution or something like that. The trivial solution is zero for most of the problem, but that is a solution, right? So we have to think about it. So if you don't want to get into problem, don't involve with that. That is a zero solution. So it's always available. Okay. So think about that. So whenever we learn something, we are going to understand in such a way that when the reality comes, when real situation comes, how I am going to remember the right tool at that time, or the right understanding that I am going to use to solve the problem or look into the problem, or to even to understand the problem and to describe to somebody. Do you know the language to talk with somebody? Let's say you are an electronics and a communication engineer like me. Can you go and talk in the field with a mechanical engineer? Do you know the language of a mechanical engineer? Have you ever asked the question about that? Because mechanical engineer understand things in a different way. Even within engineering, we have so many disciplines. So how to talk with other people? So that's all comes with how we understand things when we learn and how we are going to make use of it in the real field. Because it is not the good olden days. It's all isolated. Then the system is all isolated. Mechanical engineering has nothing to do with electrical engineering or with the chemical engineering or something like that. If you go to the field, then all the systems are interlinked and connected, and you will find all different discipline engineers one at a place. And it may be a team of all different discipline engineers working together, and you need to know how to talk with them and how to understand them, and everything is very important. Okay, so that's the idea. You guys have any further question or anything, something like that? Because I have explained everything what I plan to explain in this meeting, and this is the idea. So weekly I will be, so I can, you guys can see these topics, right? These are all the bookmarks. I can go back to the very first one. Okay, so this is the, okay, so again, I will quickly brush through this. So we start with the sets and probability, then descriptive statistics, then discrete probability distribution. So if you start with sets and probability, we have already spoke about this. Then the descriptive statistics, then discrete probability distribution. As the data is then we have of that data. So that is the discrete probability distribution, which is the binomial, and then the Poisson and hypergeometric, and then the continuous probability distribution, under which we will be studying the continuous probability distribution, which is the uniform exponential distribution. Then comes the normal distribution, and then the approximation of the normal to binomial, and the random variables. That is very important because most of us may not have the right understanding of what is a random variable. Because if you know a basic algebra, that is where we learn what is a variable. Then how come a variable can be random? Okay, because the data has to represent at any given time maybe a random value of few numbers of them. So put together can be a single variable that can represent that. That is what is a random variable. The material can explain. Once you gone through that, if you have any doubt, you can ask me in the weekly meeting. Okay. Then we go for the sampling of the distribution and estimation. So the sampling is one of the important concept because the data and the number can go very huge. For example, there are 7 billion people, 7 plus billion people in the whole world. So if you want to do any statistical analysis of how the coronavirus is affecting people or something like that, it is impossible to go and check all the 7 billion people. Then what we are going to do, we are going to sample only few of them out of that 7 billion people and do some analysis and understanding and testing and everything. So that is where the sampling comes into picture. Then based on that, there is going to be some hypothesis. We are going to present some hypothesis and see whether the hypothesis holds good or not under that particular sampling, and all those things we will learn from this topic. Then there is goodness of fit and contingency tables, and then regression and correlation, which is like a curve fitting kind of things, and analysis of variance, and the non-parametric statistics, because it need not to be all the things has to be numbers. It could be something else also. So it can be non-parametric also. Then finally, we will end up with the reliability and quality control. So for an engineer, all these topics are more than enough to have in pocket. So straight away ready for your future problem in the industry, or even during the interview, you can face the interview in a bold way to say that you have knowledge about all these things, and a good understanding will always help in the future also. Okay. So these are all the topics. So straight away, once this is done with my team in the Select Smart, because this is the first session and very first topic I am presenting. So even I am learning what are all the things that has to be done, in what way it has to be done in the Select Smart. So I will discuss with my team members, and then slowly I will try to see that how this material in the best way can be given to those interested students who are registering for this, the take the material away and use between them or within the individual. And then for the some doubts or something like that, and the doubts again, don't think like I'm going to lecture on every topic and make explanation of every problem or something like that. You are all adults, okay, grown-up adults, at least a minimum age of 17. So that means you should know how to do things. So if some good material resource is available to you, given to you, and one of the best resource we always have is the time. And now with the coronavirus situation, we have to utilize the best, the good source, the time in the best possible way. So use the material in such a way that ask question, keep asking question. For every single line you read, ask the question, why this way? Why not the other way? Why this is always this way? So that will always give you the way that the thinking process you have with any understanding. Okay, that will be keep growing with you. Then at one stage you will feel yourself, you don't need to go and look for material to understand something. Your way of thinking itself will become like you will be inventing all the already invented things, already discovered things. You can come up with your own understanding and your own way of doing that and using that. Okay, so that is the way that new things have come up. Okay, think about it, how new things are being invented or discovered by somebody. First of all, if somebody has not told you something, suddenly I told you what is histogram. Even if you have not already heard about histogram, you can think about I'm connecting the histogram with the bar chart, bar diagram. You might have seen a bar diagram. The word bar itself looks like, oh, it looks like bars. Okay, it may be bars. Then the histogram may look like some bars. So that kind of connectivity. Okay, one more thing. The connectivity is very important. How to connect different things. So if you learn something under the topic, if you learn thermodynamics, or if you learn basic electronics, or a circuit diagram for a logical gate, how to design a NOR gate using a CMOS, metal oxide field effect transistor. I hope you guys are all electronics and communication engineers, or something to do with electronics. All of you guys remember how to design a NOR gate using a CMOS. If I give you, yes, that's good. Okay, that's real good news. Okay, somebody immediately said yes. That's the idea. So it's not that you did it only for the exam or something like that. It's an understanding, the idea. That is the thing that should make you to become an engineer, to feel good about it. Okay, that's good. I get at least 4 or 5 yes answer now. That's good. Fine. You guys are all I think 8th semester students, but that's good. Still remember the very basic electronics you learned in the first year or second year. The engineering is like that. So nothing is small or big. It can be that even you learned the addition during your nursery or in the primary one. It doesn't matter. We still use addition. Okay. So nothing is simple or something you can wash away and get away with that. Okay. So we need to use everything at all the time. Okay. So that is why the understanding has to be in the right way. So ask even very simple question, and the understanding will make you to remember for the lifetime, and also how to connect with other things. All of you guys know this very basic thing in the mathematics. We always learn it as a rule because we have been taught like that. Multiplication tables, okay, 3 into 3 is a 9, like, but it is a repeated multiple addition is the multiplication. So the understanding should come like that. So also we have been taught like a plus multiplied with a plus is a plus. Have we ever asked the question why a plus multiplied with a plus has to be a plus? Or a minus multiplied by a minus as a plus? Why a minus multiplied by a minus should be a plus? Have you ever asked the question? Do you have a good understanding of that? Why a minus multiplied by a minus has to be a plus? So this kind of question has to come. Then it poses a question, then what is my understanding about a minus? What is a negative number? What is a negative quantity? So those kind of question has to arise. So don't just take things granted. Somebody said so. Like Dr. Nakkeeran Perumal working in a decent UK university, a top ranking university said so, so I take it granted. No, ask question to yourself. Okay, why something is like that? Why a plus multiplied by a minus is going to be a minus? Because there is a plus available, there is a minus available. When you make a product between those two quantities, why this is going in one particular sign? Have you ever asked the question? If you have not asked the question, that means you are not, uh, how to say, you are not learning the engineering thing in an engineering way. So always ask question and experience, kind of mentorship or something like that. So use that, then solve the individual small problems, put together, then the whole problem is solved. Think about building a aircraft. Can you go and build a aircraft straight away? No, we have to split and separate into small pieces. And then every small piece, this is a control system. This is how to control that, like that. I would like to become full stack developer. How far business math helps me? Uh, no, the business mathematics has to do with all these topics which I have shown you as 12 different topics. Okay, so you have the content straight away given here. So you have to think about how you can make use of this content which is going to be discussed and the material going to be provided, and that can be useful for your case. Okay, I cannot answer you that this can be useful or not. Okay, so because most likely whoever attended may get the content. Or again, I'm showing you, these are all the 12 different topics that is going to be available under this discussion. Okay, because this is not the only topic I will be doing the mentoring. I will be going for other topics also later on. But currently today, as with the team of within the Select Smart, we decided that I will start the business mathematics today. So that's the idea. Okay. So this is almost the time now. So is there any question directly relevant to the business mathematics or the topics which have been posted here as the topic that we will be discussing? So I want to make the point very clear that I won't be explaining each and every topic to you like lecture or something like that. This is mentoring. Okay, mentoring is make you to help you to learn by yourself. Okay, you if you want, you can, if you are friends together, you can join as a team, and you can learn together. But make sure that everybody understand everything in full. Okay, don't leave any material as an excuse that this is going to be not for the exam, or this is going to be for the exam. Don't ever think from an exam point of view. This all the material you learn is for your lifetime. Okay, so it's not that you have to remember each and everything about it, but a global idea. If somebody talk about a quality control, do you know anything about the quality control? Really, what is the meaning of quality control? When it comes to QC, once you learn this business mathematics, when we complete it, you should know what is quality control and how it has been done. Then you know how to do it also. But it will be in the memory. So when you, even after 3 years, 4 years, you might have never come across this business mathematics or quality control. But again, after 3 years, if you think about it, you should remember the global idea. Yeah, I know what is quality control. This is how it has to be done. So with that, you can pick it up again. Okay. So the next question is, when is next class? Our plan is after this, very soon I will provide the full topic list, that is the table of contents, and also most likely the very first topic material also, the chapter material also should be given to those registered students. And then we will see how you guys have done with the understanding and the learning of the material provided in the first one. And probably the next weekend, maybe the same time on a Saturday, we will see that how well you have understood the sets and the probability, and how to go about with that. That should be the idea. Sir, when do we have the next session? Your college will let you know the schedule of each webinar. Okay, that is the answer from Indian. Okay, that's good. Sir, how can this material be obtained that you showed? Okay, that will be given to you through Select Smart once the student get registered with that. You should know the way through the Select Smart. Okay, because I contact all of you guys only through Select Smart. So all this material, and even the individual material of each topic will have the interlinked the blue colored text where you can click it, and you can go to the link to connect them. Even for example, if it is a picture, then the picture number can be clickable. That will take you to the picture. So like that, the material is prepared in that way. Okay. So that's the way. So
thank you, Dr. Nakkeeran. Students, all your communication will be done by your professors, the college professors who are coordinating the events, the webinar series, and the material will be available when you log in into Select Smart. Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Nakkeeran, for taking time spending with us, and especially the interactive session, which was very, very helpful. And great to have great to have all of you students here, joining us on the session. Wish you all the best, and we look forward to having you in the next webinar. Have a nice evening, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.